Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have some news to go cover that actually happened as of yesterday and these past few weeks where overall, in all honesty, the gaming industry is absolutely on fire. Right now, the PlayStation just basically lost hundreds of millions of dollars. There was no recovering for this one. Things are being absolutely shut on down. And as of right this second, I am very, very concerned on the gaming industry as a whole. So I'm going to go talk about this, talk about the standards, talk about the fact that everywhere, Xbox, PlayStation, and all these other various third-party companies are just in absolute not good situations. And I would say the S word if I wasn't sure if I could demonetize or not on YouTube. And everything is just going wrong. So let's go and talk about why we think it's going wrong, what is going on happening, and just the overall vibe of the gaming sphere. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on for our PS5 Pro giveaway here, second channel on YouTube. We got the Twitters down below and the Twitches, and of course all the affiliate links for the PS5 Pros down below. And I would love to hear your thoughts and comments and everything on this one. I'm definitely gonna go probably grab some dinner and scroll through the comments on the YouTube videos so you guys are bored throughout today. I'm gonna probably have a nice little YouTube comment day, so I'll be on the lookout for that. But I appreciate you guys all for watching, and I appreciate you guys, I guess, kind of bearing with the fact that YouTube and gaming and everything as a whole is an absolute S show. Because if you guys missed the news as of yesterday, we kind of had a chance to let the news kind of sit and relax. Right now, Firewalk Studios, basically what made Concord, is now completely gone. It's shut down, gonzo forever as of yesterday. This kind of was like the big breaking news that happened. But ever since then, I feel like there's a weird hole when it comes to the gaming sphere. Now, as you guys probably know, there's been a lot, and I mean a lot of really bad news when it comes to, well, everything. We saw multiple different waves of Microsoft. I don't know why I'm so big, but whatever. We saw multiple waves of Microsoft doing massive layoffs, both on Microsoft itself, Xbox Gaming, them shutting down multiple game studios, even some studios they even acquired. And like right now, even Xbox is in a horrible spot. PlayStation in a horrible spot. Well, we're going to do a little more of a deeper dive into some of these, but even some things like Ubisoft is now literally having over 700 employees going on strike amidst even their own studio shutdown. And just everything in the gaming sphere is going horrible. A lot of video games, these big AAA games that people are expecting and waiting for and they're hyped up for, are completely flopping. Not all of them, obviously, because we saw some cool things like Helldivers, which has done very, very well, and it was actually a little bit of a closet hit from a somewhat, in my opinion, like a AA studio. And some other various game companies have done okay. You know, look at maybe Baldur's Gate, look at the random, I'll be honest, I don't even know who even made Black Myth Wukong, but that's just a good game example where there are some people still getting dubs. They're getting some wins. They're making money. They're selling copies. But right now, PlayStation especially is now kind of entered the big main firing spree. Now, a lot of people know when it comes to Concord, that game was a flop. Like, apparently there's only 25,000 total units even ever sold. We're hearing numbers that the game itself was around $200 million to make, and then around another $200 million for marketing. I think they those really cool animations, sponsorships, controller design, controller like actual, like the making of it and shipping of it. Like, a lot of that stuff is still rumored around either the $200 to $400 million mark. No matter what range you want to put it, it was hundreds of millions of dollars, and it was a one-year acquisition that PlayStation took an absolute massive YOLO on, and it was an absolute failure. There was no other words around it, to the point where it seems like it was even not even for the fact of them trying to make the game free to play. They just gave up, and rightfully so. Like, there is no coming back. Although, if I want to be honest, if I was a PlayStation executive, I probably would have been like, well, what's another $5 million just to go put some microtransactions, set up a battle pass, and make the game free to play and set up some servers for 6 months? At the end of the day, you want to know what? Some people would have maybe even just checked out the game because it had so much publicity and so much attention behind it. So I'm one of those people where I'd be like, we're already this in deep, why not try that out? But that's where PlayStation's in this big struggle, because a lot of people are now critiquing, we may make this on a separate video too as well, but like the big idea is that they have made some bad decisions. There's no ifs, thens, or buts. Like, they've done very well. PlayStation 5 has been selling good. Things like Spider-Man, God of War, Horizon, all these big token games that people really like have been doing well. Helldivers was a random, unexpected hit, which in all honesty probably covered up a lot, if not all of the, maybe even made money on the expenditures of Concord as a whole. And of course, this is still getting a publicity for it. I'm sure some devs feel bad about it, but it does kind of seem like Concord, once again, was just a massive flop. There are so many different ways I can word that, but I think you guys have probably heard many other people out there state it, that game was an absolute mess. Just they had no idea who the target audience was. The characters are downright disgusting. There was no originality behind it. It was just a random shooter game, which some people did like. there was a really good positive reception. People enjoyed the game as a whole. And like there was potential behind it. A lot of Destiny people thought it was a very similar style to the Destiny PvP, although it was a little bit slower and it was a little bit of like Overwatchy hero shootery. There was potential with it. But right now that potential was gone, flopped. The game was horrible. We all knew it was kind of coming that way. We even made videos on it at the time. It was just an absolute flopper. So right now this is where PlayStation's kind of struggling, because as you guys know, they've done okay. Like they're making good money, they're profitable, the stock's doing all right-ish. Microsoft's having issues. A lot of these big companies are trimming the fat, like we even see with the Ubisoft, where they're just trying their best to go shut down a lot of their games. And this is where like the gaming industry as a whole is scary, because as you guys can see, Ubisoft may shut down the X-Defiant game, which was meant to be like the Call of Duty competitor. Although Call of Duty's been doing relatively well. I have been playing the brand new Black Ops 6. It's been all around pretty decent, could be worse. But this was meant to be the Call of Duty competitor. This was meant to be Ubisoft's take of like, this game is going to take over the world. And it had a good reception at the start. But once again, a lot of these gamers are so used to these very generic games, Call of Duties, FIFAs, whatever it might be, and they're just done. They don't want to move off it. Like unless it's some crazy game. Even things like the Finals, I thought that game was great. Things like Apex was cool for a while, but it's now kind of tapering off. It's just hard to go beat these games. And this is where all these big major companies are getting worried. They drop these tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars on these major games, and they don't make any money back. So Ubisoft's been doing bad for a while. As I mentioned, they have people that are like trying to go on strike right now. They've been losing employees for a while. Their stocks are going straight down, and they're kind of concerned because a lot of their bigger games like Star Wars Outlaws didn't sell as well as they would hope. They're worried about Assassin's Creed. They're worried about like the big racism involved with Assassin's Creed. Like a lot of people were worried about that. Xbox themselves had big floppers like Redfall, or having kind of mediocre reception than some of the newer games coming out that are spending lots of money, like Indiana Jones. And at the same time, once again, PlayStation, as the big main focal point on this one, had to quite literally shut down studios. They gave up on them. They spent the money on these studios and they just gave up on them. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars and it's just gone. Like nothing else to say. They're saying we want to share some important updates from Sony Interactive Entertainment Studio Business Group. We consistently evaluate our games portfolio and status of our projects to ensure that we're meeting near and long-term business priorities. As part of our ongoing efforts to strengthen the SEI's studio business, we have had to make a difficult decision relating to two of our studios, Neon Koi and Firewalk Studios, expanding beyond the PlayStation devices and crafting engaging online experiences alongside our single-player games are key focal areas for us as we evolve our revenue streams. We need to be strategic, though, in bringing our games to new platforms and recognize when our games fall short of meeting players' expectations, which Concord was an absolute flop. While mobile remains a priority growth for the studio businesses, we are in the very early stage of our mobile efforts too as well, and they need to have concrete titles with a PlayStation pedigree to make it all good. So Neon Koi is also shutting down, and PlayStation itself probably doesn't even care. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars for nothing. And its mobile action game will not be moving forward. They want to go and basically express their gratitude over for them. As well, Firewalk, as announced in early September, in certain aspects of Concord were exceptional, but others did not land with enough players. And as the result, they took the game offline. They spent considerable time these past few months exploring all of their options, and it did seem like there was potential for it to go free to play, but they decided to just be like, hey, let's just go and shut down the studio. We'll roll with it. But this is where things get scary, though, because as of this moment, they do not know what they want to make. PlayStation's in like a really weird standstill. They want to push this weird live service game style, and it just didn't hit. Like the people are not loving it. Like Helldivers did great. They did really, really good until they kind of botched the game a little bit, but people still like it. But this game was just a flop. Dead arrival, flops, and they're losing a lot of employees. And the thing is that they actually bought these studios too. They did try to go get Firewalk Studios a few years ago, and at the same exact time, now all these people who were excited about these big things, such as we've even seen with Embracer Group and other various platforms, like these big studios are buying these game companies and then just shutting them on down. And PlayStation's no exception. Same with Xbox, same with Embracer. And it's crazy because it makes me worried for the developers. Now, the developers are making dog awful games. I mean, that's on them. That's on the management for allowing it. That's for the employees for making absolute garbage. But at the same time, I do feel really worried for the gaming sphere. A lot of community managers, a lot of people like game designers, UI designers, animators, like 3D modelers, everyone is in a very weird spot because there's been a lot of really big game layoffs. And this is kind of scary too because PlayStation is now kind of once again adding towards this. Now, obviously Xbox did too as well, but we already covered the Xbox news a few months ago when it happened. But this is a little bit more scary too because PlayStation kind of really did just lose a lot of money. Now, the company's going to be fine long term. There's going to be profitable long term. They have other games to kind of fill up that like void of money, like even like Helldivers might have just been even more profitable than Concord it was in the first place, but it's still scary to go and see. So I want to hear your thoughts and comments on this down below because it does seem like it's a little bit of a rough spot. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitters down below, we have the Twitch down below, and the 2 YouTube accounts for the bonus giveaway entries. We also do have all the affiliate links down below too as well if you guys want to pick up your PS5 Pros and give me your thoughts and comments on everything down below.